Frontier News, I'm Kalila Reynolds. PNP President Portia Simpson Miller yesterday lashed out at some comrades whom she says are pushing her out of the office. She describes those persons as being ungrateful. Sources say Mrs. Simpson Miller launched her blistering attack during yesterday's meeting of the party's National Executive Council in Hatfield, Manchester. Shortly after Mrs. Simpson Miller's presentation, members of the officer corps indicated that her resignation will become effective on April 2.
Sources say Mrs. Simpson Miller told the NEC that there are members of the party who wanted to see her gone for a long time. Mrs. Simpson Miller also reportedly lamented that at the last post-NEC media briefing, it was announced that she was leaving the post soon. She says this announcement was made without the matter being first discussed with her. Mrs. Simpson Miller said it's for this reason she's kept the timeline for her departure to herself. She also reportedly told the NEC that she'd remain as Member of Parliament for South West St Andrew until the appropriate time after she steps down as party president. Sources say Mrs. Simpson Miller told a stunned NEC that those, and I quote, hankering for her constituency better think again, end quote. Mrs. Simpson Miller also reportedly told the meeting that there are some comrades who try to suggest that she's an idiot. She mused that she didn't know it was possible for an idiot to obtain a bachelor's degree. The PNP president would lash out at what she described as ungrateful elements in the party. Several sources in the NEC meeting told us Mrs. Simpson Miller said these ungrateful elements have failed to appreciate that she has, and I quote, worked like a donkey for this movement, end quote. She also reportedly said there are some comrades who do not like to see women in leadership positions. The outgoing PNP president reportedly told the party they should not come to her when they want to use her again to win another election. She would again blast those whom she says have been leaking internal PNP business to the media. Meanwhile, the outgoing PNP president ended what's expected to be her final address to the NEC without announcing a specific date for her departure. Sources say members of the party's officer corps huddled for approximately 5 minutes after Simpson Miller ended her blistering address. The officers then announced that Mrs. Simpson Miller's resignation would take effect on April 2. Nomination for the post of president will be opened from February 6 to February 10. A special delegates conference is to be held on March 26. It's widely expected that Dr. Peter Phillips will then be elected unopposed as party president. When our news center called Mrs. Simpson Miller for a comment yesterday, we were told she's not available and should be left alone. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Former Member of Parliament for Eastern Hanover and Portia Simpson Miller ally Dr. D.K. Duncan says the PNP president was